legit just black fire. It's black fire, but with a tint of purple in it, like the Amaterasu flames. It's basically like that. And they don't extinguish. No matter how much, remember, he's not going to be part of the Todoroki family, since the Todoroki family doesn't have that. He's got a special type of flames that he can use from many times. That are much more deadly than blue flames, and much more deadly than normal flames, can melt ice with little to no difficulty. When he's 5 years old, he sees a green-haired little boy being beaten up by a spiky Blondie and his friends. Christian runs in saying, "Hey, leave him alone! He didn't do anything wrong." Bakugo says, "Oh, you want to fight too?" Christian says, "Yeah!" And he charges up black flames, and then shoots them from his hands, destroying them all, picking up Izuku. Oh yeah, Bakugo finally gets them off when his mom pulls out a fire extinguisher. When she gets there, seeing that he's burning, that she puts a fire extinguisher. And Christian and Izuku are just swinging on the swing where his mom can see them. Bakugo says it was that kid who did it, and Bakugo's mom rushes up saying, Did you put black flames on my son?" Christian says, "Yes, I did, but only to protect my friend, because your son was beating him up for exactly no reason. For just being quirkless." He says, "Katsuki!" as Bakugo's running away. "How dare you do that to some poor kid who doesn't have a quirk?" Smack, smack, smack. 16 years later, aka not 16, to the UA entrance exam. Christian would not be kind-hearted. He'd be most of the time pissed off. Because whenever he uses quirk, he accidentally hits himself in the face, and he gets pissed. So then he has a punching bag, which he's already gone through, like, you know Naruto's attack against Toneri? The final attack where he knocked out Toneri? You know that one, where his hand was golden? I'm gonna do that with mine, but his hand is black, with flames around it, and he punches. He also has Blaze Kick, which means he can add fire to his feet and kick. He can just kick fire out, going shoom shoom like Zuko can. He can create fireballs from his hands, like shoot them out. He can also use Jet Burn. He can also use Jet Burn, of course. It's like the basic fire move. He can only use a Fire Blast, you know, from Pokemon, but it's black. He goes, but he can't use that yet. My dude has spiky black hair. He's got Bakugo hair, but it's black. So when it's time for the UA entrance exam, he says, "Here goes nothing." When it starts, he can fly with his fire going. Exploding, putting a crater where he was, blasting up in the air, shooting black flames out of his hands, burning a robot. Then he shoots more black flames all everywhere, destroying it. Then creating a fire blast, hitting it up in the air, and then smack. Remember, fire blast and fireball are two different things. Fireball is where he creates an orb of fire and yeets it and shoots it out of his hand. A fire blast is like the star thingy that's the Pokemon move. He goes for fire blast and destroys another robot. Then he says, "Jetoban!" and destroys another robot, destroying all kinds of robots, while everyone else is destroying theirs, taking a while. Christian goes, "Jetoban!" and say goodbye to more robots. Because the Jetoban destroys everything. And he'd pass the exam, because he would be on recommendation because his quirk. And how much of his quirk is effective? Everyone looks around and sees like a hell field. They still see the flames burning. Christian walks away and blasts off in the sky, going. Izuku scratches his head, saying, "That guy always does it. He always overdoes it and burns everything he sees." On the first day of UA, Christian is just sitting down on a seat talking to Midoriya. They're having a chat. Uraraka, Kaminari, Kirishima, Mina, Hagakure, and tons of them read Christian saying, "Are you the guy that set all those giant robots on fire with those black flames?" Well, actually, you know what? They don't say, ask him. When Mina and Eijiro, Kirishima, and Denki, and Ashido walk in. They're all talking about how that one mysterious person who was lighting all those things on fire, because the pros are saying to this, the principal of the school is saying till this day they're still on fire. And they're suddenly starting to pollute underground, and if whoever uses those does a bigger strike, that could destroy the earth. Midoriya whispers, I think they're talking about you. Christian says, I don't care. Then he walks up to them, saying, Hi guys, my name's Christian, my quirk's Black Flames. Nice to meet you. I say, hi. Kirishima says, it's Adriel Kirishima. Kaminari goes, Denki Kaminari. Mina goes, Mina Ashido. Hagakure goes, Toru Hagakure. He says, mind saying your quirks? Kaminari says, my quirk, electrification. Christian says, cool, it's lightning. He says, now you. Shark Boy. He says, wow, that's you. I can't get over the fact that I was watching a video and it was Adriel Kirishima, it was some guy in a shark outfit pretending to swim. It was hilarious. I laugh weird. I mean, I can laugh weird. So with this, Kirishima says, it's Adriel Kirishima, and does the shark thing. I'm kidding. He shows off that his quirk is hardening. Mina shows off that her quirk is acid, and Hagakure says, well, I'm invisible. Christian says, that sounds cool. He says, would you mind showing us your quirk? Christian says, sure. And creates black flames in his hand. She says, so you're the guy who did it. He says, yeah, I guess. You're the one who's... All of them go into fan mode saying, you destroyed all those robots with just blasts. Christian says, thank you, I guess. I can't tell if that's like appraisal or something. He says, oh, it's definitely appraisal. Christian goes, yeah. I like that. So with that, they'd go on to the training thing. It's Christian and Midoriya versus Bakugo and Tenya Ida. Christian blasts off, going... Christian says, Deku, I can't use my quirk too much, so I'm basically useless in this fight. We're gonna have to use yours. He says, but I'm quirk... Christian says, I don't want to hear it. I know you have a quirk. How'd you blow down that robot? He goes, I was just training super hard. Christian says, Deku, no training amount can get you that far to destroy a robot like that and jump that high without a quirk. You obviously have a quirk. Also, why did your limbs break instantly when you punched that thing? That wouldn't have made zero sense. I can't do anything or else I'm going to contaminate this entire thing. And probably that Shoto guy, I don't know. No one can do this. He says, but if I have to, I'll use it. Bakugo explodes in his face. Christian goes, then he's hit by Bakugo's gauntlets in his face, knocking him the fuck out. Bakugo's about to take off his little rope thing, but Christian trips him and punches him, knocking him back. He goes, and there's so much dust in his eyes that he can't see anything. Deku creates a quick wind blast with a thing that blows all the smoke out of his eyes. Thanks, Midoriya! Then shoots a fire blasts, creates black flames from his hands, and destroys him. And destroys them, knocking them back. He says, now the entire thing... He says, go! Midoriya would run off while Christian fights Bakugo. Christian says, final... Fire Detroit! Smash! Hitting Bakugo, blasting him. He says, did he just say Detroit Smash? They say he must be a fan of All Might if he created one of his attacks called Black Fire Detroit Smash. All Might smiles, saying, I'm happy someone's using my techniques into their own techniques. Or, I'm happy that someone's using my techniques in their own. So let's get into this. Deku would probably have to fight Ida. His arm would probably be broken with one hit. So then he'd go for... Because Midoriya with one arm would go, Detroit Smash! Hitting Ida right in the stomach. He'd go, blasting him, actually breaking the bomb, which would actually explode. I'm not sure if it was an actual bomb, but Midoriya jumps down going, ah! Christian, but then Midoriya is about to fall, but Christian blasts off, grabbing Midoriya, then blasting forward again, blasting off, touching the thing, going. And All Might sees that he touched it. Christian throws Midoriya in his back and then blasts off, going. Then he says, and then puts away his hands. He says, we're gonna fall. Christian says, don't worry, I have fire in my feet. We're gonna float. Then they go. He goes, cool. Christian says, I know, right? Then they head over. Christian goes, blasting forward. And All Might would name the MVP Christian for saving his teammates and stopping Bakugo and Ida. And Midoriya doing the dumbest thing by breaking both his arms. Breaking one of his arms, but Ida broke the other one. And Christian was the smartest because he blasted down there and grabbed and thought of his teammate before winning, and threw Midoriya on his back as he blasted down and touched the bomb. So now they know. But now the entire thing is filled with black flames. Shoto tries to freeze them, but then his thing just melts. Christian retracts the flames, saying that's better. Christian has learned to retract his flames. So, like, absorbs his flames right back into him. So with this, we'd head on to the USJ arc. And with this, Christian can maybe shoot fire out of his mouth. I don't know if that's possible if he can shoot fire, because I think his mouth would just get burnt. When it would start, Christian would say, and start shooting fire blasts. Like hitting fireballs. Okay, look. When I say fire blasts, what? No, I'm staying up till 11 tonight. So let's get into this. So, with him, he'd be using his ultimate attack. When I mean fire blasts, I mean like he's shooting constant fireballs from his hand, going boom, 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 kind of like in Dragon Ball when they have ki blasts. And when I say fire blast, I mean the big one, the big star one from Pokemon. He starts shooting fire blasts everywhere, going hitting all the villains. I should make a what if the villains never attacked the USJ? I mean, that means the students wouldn't be mentally traumatized. All Might wouldn't use more of his One for All. And yeah, they wouldn't have to go to the sports. They wouldn't go to the sports festival because they wouldn't be ready. Christian would just keep on shooting fire blasts, erasing all of the villains there except for Shigaraki, Kurogiri. Well, actually, not all the villains, but then they get warped away. Christian gets warped away to water. Christian says, "Ah, great, water where fire doesn't work." Christian says, "Luckily, I brought this," and pulls out a knife and goes. It's actually like a kunai, so it's not like a real knife. But then he realizes it's not going to work, so he pulls out a sword and says, "I'm also a very good swordsman." Then throws a sword up, then grabs it by the other side and jumps down and stabs the villain right through his throat, going through the villain. He goes, "Horchata," and cuts through most of them, cutting them down. And that's it for now. I'll finish it up tomorrow, maybe.